Hey guys, what's up? It's Rick Pete back with you, and as you could tell, I've still got the dreaded lurgy, but that is not going to stop me from doing this video, so I'm going to man up and soldier on. As the title suggests, this is my Royal Rumble 2017 review. I've finished watching the actual Rumble Tuesday night last night before I went to work, so obviously didn't have a chance to post this video. I'd managed to avoid social media, so I didn't get any results before I watched it. So would the Royal Rumble pay-per-view be as good as WWE were billing it up to be, and as good as it should be, really? Here's my thoughts. Oh, and before I forget, I haven't seen the pre-show, just the actual Rumble itself. The only pre-show results I know are what they announced during the show, which were Anderson and Gallows becoming new tag team champions, which I'm really happy with, and Sasha losing to Nia Jax, which really pissed me off. But yeah, here we go. Here's my thoughts on just the actual Rumble itself. So the first matchup was Bayley versus Charlotte for the Raw Women's title. I wasn't expecting Bayley to win for 1 minute. I fully expected Charlotte to retain and the monotony of her being champion to continue. And you know, it happened. So during the match they mentioned that Nia beat Sasha, and at the time I was like, how the hell does that even happen? How does Nia Jax get a win over Sasha Banks? Whether they're lining her up to be Charlotte's next opponent, I don't know. Which means that one of them's going to have to turn face, and it's going to take a lot for Charlotte to turn face. Nia is just so not over with the crowd, so, you know, she's just shite, apparently, in my opinion, and then goes and gets a win over Sasha Banks. Confused me. So anyway, back to Bayley Charlotte. I wasn't blown away. I thought it was a good match, but I thought they could have done better. Charlotte retained, as I'd feared. It can't just be me that is pissed off of seeing Charlotte as champion, surely. I can't be the only WWE fan that's sick of seeing her with the belt. But like I mentioned before, you know, her dad, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So the next matchup was Reigns versus Owens for the Universal title. Reigns got booed the hell out of the building when he came out. I mean, he usually does get booed, but jeez, that was just, I don't think I've ever heard it any louder. After a bit of back and forth of him getting jumped by Jerry KO, they eventually got John Bon Jericho into the shark cage, and the match got underway. I thought it was a great match personally. I was really enjoying it. That is until Strowman interfered and absolutely spoiled it, ruined the ending of the match. Owens retains. Yet again, Owens is made to look weak by somebody else's interference. Neville versus Rich Swann for the Cruiserweight title was up next. I've not really been enjoying the Cruiserweights as much as I hoped I would do. I really thought that I was going to be blown away by him and it would take me back to the old days of the Cruiserweights, but it's just not happening. So yeah, I'm a bit, you know, I've not watched 205 Live. Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I should be watching that. So I might have to check that out. But it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Plenty of aerial moves, high flying moves, and, you know, acrobatic stuff as you'd expect from a cruiserweight match. Neville eventually getting the win by submission. So he's new cruiserweight champion. Cena versus Styles for the WWE World title, or the WWE title as it was announced before the match. So a year after his debut, Styles was defending his WWE World title. That, to me, just shows how good he is. The fact that, you know, Vince was not so keen to sign him. He eventually wore down, signed him, and then decided after a year, no, he's the man I'm going to put the belt on. All I can say is, holy shit, what a match. I enjoyed it even more than the SummerSlam match they had. I was really shocked at the outcome though. Cena, new world champion, WWE champion, tying Ric Flair's record. He got booed by a lot of people, but what I really did like is that as soon as the match had finished, he went straight out into the crowd and he found a young kid in a Make-A-Wish t-shirt and he was celebrating with him. Say what you want about the guy, when it comes to stuff like that, you can't fault him. It did annoy me slightly, and it will become apparent in my next video, which hopefully should be ready for the weekend, why I was pissed that Cena won the title. I don't hate the guy. I'm not seeing hate. I've said before, I don't hate him one bit. But all will become apparent as to why I was annoyed. So the actual Rumble itself, is a few of my personal highlights. It won't take long. I thought the Rumble itself was a bit, I don't know, average, I suppose is the word I was looking for. Ty Dillinger entering at number 10 was just perfection. It had been touted around the internet, people saying, wouldn't it be great if, and it happened. I was just like, oh, that is just awesome. I was actually laughing. My girlfriend asked me what I was laughing at, and once I explained that his name was the Perfect 10 and he'd entered the Royal Rumble at number 10, I said it might not mean much to you, as a non-wrestling fan, but I think that's pretty cool. And she was like, no, I can see what they've done there, that's pretty cool. And then she, after seeing his ring gear, said, oh, doesn't he look like a little athletic Santa with his little red trunks on? At that point, I just, switched off and carried back on watching wrestling. Ellsworth getting slammed from the ring to the floor. I'm not a sicko, I don't hate the guy. I just thought it was funny how Ambrose set him up for it. How Ellsworth wouldn't get into the ring while Strowman was stood there. As soon as Ambrose come down, so Ellsworth sort of like, oh, don't hit me. And then when Ambrose was like, come on, me and you, we'll get him. And yeah. And then he just left Ellsworth to it. To me, excuse me, that was a nice little comical moment, as was the Jack Gallagher bit with the balloon with umbrella, with Jericho. Balloon, where did I get balloon from? With the umbrella, I thought that was really good. That was a nice little bit of comedic bit in there, and I'm really digging Jack Gallagher. I think he's really cool. A little thing while I'm thinking about Jack Gallagher, I was discussing this to a friend of mine on Facebook, Stephen Milligan Phoenix, if you're watching, hi. And we were on about tag teams that were brilliant in NXT and then just seemed to fizzle out in the main roster, and I mentioned the Vaudevillains, and he mentioned that Jack Gallagher would fit in perfectly with them with the old-timey gimmick, and I was like, yes, there is definitely something there if it was done properly. They probably won't do anything with it because they can't be asked with the Vaudevillains. I think they just brought them up to equal out the number of tag teams on SmackDown, but the potential's there. If they were to move him to SmackDown, team up with the Vaudevillains, have a nice little team of 3, they could go for the tag team titles on the Freebird rule like New Day did, and I think it would add a whole new dimension to the Vaudevillains. They might have to change the name, but it's there. They've all got the sort of old-timey, gentlemanly type vibe going. That's something that we thought would be good to see done right, obviously, but it's WWE, so chances it might not be done right. I enjoyed Sheamus and Cesaro eliminating the entire New Day in one go. Goldberg eliminating Lesnar. Like I've said before, I do like Lesnar, but the man is just, well, I'm more of a Goldberg fan. I thought it was brilliant how that happened. He just embarrassed Lesnar again. So obviously, WrestleMania 33, if it hasn't already been stated on Raw, which I haven't watched yet, obviously with working and everything, I haven't had a chance to watch Raw, so I was watching the Rumble. I'm assuming we're going to get Goldberg Lesnar at WrestleMania 33, which I have no problem with this, as long as it's not the main event. If it's one of the build-up matches, I'm fine with that, but the WWE title should be the main event, so it should be Orton versus, sorry, I've spoiled that bit, but the main match. And Taker eliminating Miz. That was just a personal thing, because I hate the Miz, always have, always will. I just don't get the guy, don't like the guy, just no. So Undertaker eliminated him, made me laugh. I had to take it back so my daughter could watch it as well, because she's an Undertaker fan and she hates the Miz. So for her, her favourite wrestler, even though she's not really interested, eliminating the Miz was just the icing on the cake for her. So yeah. And then Reigns eliminating Wyatt. I don't know, I had a bit of a personal satisfaction from that. As like I've said, I lost interest in the Bray Wyatt character a long time ago. Although, like I've said, he does have some really cool t-shirts. Things that baffled me about the Rumble, there were 2 things really. The absence of Seth Rollins. I don't know if this has been explained on Raw, but like I say, as I record this, I've not seen Raw. So Seth Rollins not being there baffled me. So obviously he was replaced by Roman Reigns. who got a shot at the Rumble, much to the chagrin of the fans who did not like that at all. As I've already said when I slipped up, Orton won the Rumble, which I'm fine with. I have no problem with Randy Orton winning the Rumble. I like Randy Orton. Rumour has it that Wyatt is supposed to win the Elimination Chamber and get the belt. I know he's supposed to be due a title run this year, but apparently it's going to be the Elimination Chamber, which obviously sets up Wyatt Orton for WrestleMania. So that will be like the big blow-off match to their little storyline. And I think the whole Randy joining the Wyatt family has been a ruse to try and split them up from inside, which he seems to have done, with Luke Harper clotheslining Bray Wyatt in the Rumble, which I also liked as well. Actually, I should have put that in my little personal highlight section. So I think Orton's done the sort of destroy the Wyatt family from within thing. I don't know if I mentioned that before in any of my videos, but yeah. Excuse me. Looks like that with the kind of the storyline thing for that. So yeah, it looks like we're set for Orton Wyatt for Mania if it is true that Wyatt's going to win the Elimination Chamber. Speaking of rumours, the Kenny Omega to WWE rumours were put to bed a few days before the Rumble, or just before the Rumble, by the man himself, when he uploaded a video onto the Elite's YouTube channel, which is worth watching, by the way, if you've not watched it. If you're a fan of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Adam Cole, it's worth watching the Being the Elite series of videos. I love them. Stating that Kenny Omega had re-signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I personally would like to have seen him in WWE, but excuse me, I've not been up long, I've been working nights. I would like to see him in WWE, and I think it will happen, as he's only signed a year contract with New Japan, and I think that is basically out of respect for what they've done for him. So I think if he'd have jumped to WWE so quickly, it would have been a bit of a slap in the face to New Japan, and I think Kenny Omega's done the right thing by showing them the respect that they deserve for giving him, a title match, against Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, putting a lot of faith in him. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's my Royal Rumble video done. Stay tuned. There will be another video coming at the weekend with some new bits. I'm just waiting for one more parcel, and then I'll do the video. So that'll be like the third video I've uploaded this week. I'm sorry for bombarding you, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, that'll do it. Obviously, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't before. For those of you who have, as always, thank you very much. And that'll do it from me, guys. I'll be back, like I said, very soon with a new video. I'll catch you later. As always, take care.